What's up, guys? 19.1, little tips, maybe some strategy, try to help you get through this the best you can. 19.1 is a 15-minute AMRAP of 19 wall ball shots and 19 calorie row, depending on if you're doing scaled or RX, will depend on the weight of the ball. But it doesn't matter, you're all throwing to either a 10-foot height if you're a guy and 9-foot height if you're a lady. The tips there are mostly gonna be, can you complete the wall balls in as little sets as possible? I think that if you're able to maintain the unbroken set, you're obviously gonna do a lot better, but I think there won't be a lot of score differences to somebody who breaks one time to somebody who doesn't break at all. As long as it's not a rest, it's a break, I think you can allot yourself a break, maybe even two, and not be too far behind those that don't break. So we'll start with a couple wall ball tips. On your wall ball shots, don't redline. I think that's the key. If 19 is stretching it for you, and you know that fresh 19 may not be a number that you can maintain, then don't start with 19. Start with like 11 and 8 and go there. Reason being is you want to finish about the same pace that you start. I don't think that there's any benefit to coming out real hot and then hoping to hold on to that. I also don't think that there's a real benefit to starting out slow and trying to finish real hard. I think if you could spread that consistency out over the whole workout, your score is going to be a lot better. So try not to redline, find out what it is, start thinking of a strategy that you're going to break up. I've watched a few people do it now. I saw the strategy 11 and 8 get played. I saw the strategy of 7 and then 6 and then 6 again. So just choose something that allows for a quick break, quick reset, and get right back on it. One tip, relax the arms, and that'll come more into play on my third tip. Relax the arms means that when we're doing these wall ball shots, after you've thrown the ball, bring your arms back down. It takes a little bit more coordination, a little bit timing, because that ball could definitely come back at your face, but bring your arms back down. Sometimes I see people do this big arm spread. I think that's a little unnecessary. It's kind of over exaggerating the point of relaxing the arms. The key is just relax the shoulders. You don't want them being up here because your heart's having to pump blood upwards. We just want to keep them here. Try to keep the shoulders as fresh as possible. Right? So try to learn to relax your arms. It is an acquired skill, but I think after a few rounds you should have that picked up pretty good. My third tip on that is squat and throw fast. Wall ball shots are usually known to be a tall guy's thing because the ball doesn't have to travel as far, or the throw doesn't have to happen, or doesn't have to go as far. But I think that a shorter person can still go just as fast as a taller person because they're capable of squatting faster. You have to descend with the ball. The ball's falling at 10 meters a second, you're squatting just that fast. There's almost no slowdown on the ball on the descent. On the way up, it's even faster, right? So when you change directions, you have to stand up fast too. If you're not standing up fast, then you're kind of defeating the point of kind of having that stretch shortening cycle of your squat, bouncing out, exploding up. Now, throwing fast is the key. Science says if I throw it at something harder, it's probably going to come back harder. If I throw it at my target hard, it's probably going to come back at me harder. If you throw it at it soft, it's going to fall soft. Now it seems silly, but if you can make the ball move faster, if you can squat faster, you can get through 19 reps a lot faster than somebody is maybe trying to pace it out or has a little bit longer range of motion or a slower squat. You may even be able to break it up 11 and 8, but because you squat so fast, y'all are finishing at the same time, or maybe even you're finishing faster. All right, so practice that a lot, practice standing up fast, but that will come into play something with the rower too with that. So we'll move on to the rower. That's the next tip, is use your hamstrings. All right, so when we're rowing, it's real common to let our hips kind of chase our knees or kind of come back in before we let our arms. You've got to have that lean so you can engage the backside of your legs. If we're not engaging the backside of our legs, we're going to overuse our quads. And if you do figure out how to squat and throw fast on the wall balls, your quads are going to be pretty smoked. So what you don't want to do is smoke your quads on one spot, come back, smoke them again, and just repeat that over and over and over again because you're going to end up in a bad place real fast. So by leaning over a little bit, finishing that finishing your active stroke, and on your recovery stroke, kind of letting your arms go first before you let your hips start sliding in and get that forward lean, you're going to engage the backside of your body. Try not to come up on your toes. That may shorten your range of motion down a little bit, But if you can stay on your heels and drive through your heels the whole time and never let your toes come up, you'll probably keep yourself from getting that super big quad pump, which will be very beneficial if you do have the technique of squatting and throwing fast. That'll play in huge 7-8 minutes into that workout, keep you out of that dark place. Keep it on a low damper. When we're using our hamstrings, you're going to have a faster stroke rate because you're not going to be able to lean in as far. So when we're trying to lean over to activate the backside of our legs, you're not going to be able to reach in as far, you're not going to have as long as a stroke. So we're going to be having a little bit higher stroke rate, which is okay, but you got to keep your damper low. I would say even if you're somebody who has a long stroke, I think it's very silly to throw your damper up past a 7 on this workout. Especially if you're getting 5 or 6 rounds, 7 rounds, 8 rounds. You're going to be doing a lot of rowing and wall ball shots, and if you have a heavy damper, that's like doing a heavy squat multiple times. So keep the damper relatively low. I'd say if you understand how to engage the backside of your body, keep the damper 5, 4, somewhere in there, and then just let those stroke rates fly without really gassing yourself. And then that plays into the last thing, breathe. Whatever your stroke rate is, you need to have a breathing pattern. And it's one of the most simple things to do on a rower, but I think people panic whenever they get on the machine. So whenever we're rowing, the active stroke is your exhale. Think about that as like the press on a bench press. Whenever you're pressing it off your chest, you're exhaling, you take a breath at the top, then you go back down. On the rower, the active stroke, or the pressing away, is our exhale. We take a breath in, maybe at the end of our stroke, or on the way in, and we exhale on the way out. Whatever that makes our stroke rate be, keep it there. Find a breathing pattern that works for you in your workout that doesn't take away from your speed or doesn't get your heart rate jacked up. And you can actually not only recover on your row, but maybe go even a little bit faster than you expected. The row needs to be the recovery spot. You need to try to push the wall balls a little bit harder, so make sure that you're not gassing yourself out on the rower. But I think you'll surprise yourself if you can find a breathing pattern and use your hamstrings on a low damper. I think you'll surprise yourself on how fast you're actually getting through the row, and you really get a lot better score than what you're thinking. And the last point, probably the biggest point, is transitions. I've watched 2 classes do it this morning. I watched some people last night do it online, and transitions play a big factor. Even if you're kind of on the lower end of the capability level and you're on 5 round-ish, right, 3 to 5 rounds, you're still making 6 to 10 transitions. If those are 10-second transitions, that's a minute or more of time being wasted. If you're on the higher end of things and you're on the 8-ish rounds, or you're getting close to the round of 8, right, you're pushing 15, 16 transitions. That's a lot of time. If you're taking 10 seconds of transition, you're looking at almost 2 minutes or over 2 minutes of transition time, which only leaves you 13, 12 minutes of work. So you need to figure that out. In your warm-ups, take the time to throw a few wall balls, get on the rower, get off the rower, get back to the wall balls, and just get those reps going. If your first couple strokes on the rower are super pathetic, that's okay. At least you're moving and you're getting that thing going. If your first set of wall balls, if you walk up to the wall ball and you don't take any additional rest and you just pick it up and throw, and you only throw 7, that's fine. At least you're throwing it. But whenever we have these transitions, whenever you take a break on the wall ball shots, they're not a rest. Think of it as a break. You're just dropping the ball, taking a deep breath, picking the ball up, and throwing another set. There's really no resting in this workout. If you find yourself resting a lot, you're going to end up looking at a workout where you actually only worked for about 8 minutes and transition and rest for 7. And you'll get 4 or 5 rounds and just not be too far behind those people that rested a lot less. So give that a shot. Try these out. I think this is the best strategy that most of us should do. Obviously, if you're on that higher end, you're throwing fast, you're throwing unbroken, you're rowing hard, you're rowing fast. I saw, or every year they post this rowing chart, so you can kind of have an idea. I'll post it below in the link. Check it out. If you're somebody who, when you're rowing, you always row a certain speed, then this will really help you kind of gauge what you need to do on your wall balls and transitions to have enough time to get the score that you want. If you don't really pay attention to that, that's okay. You'll know real fast whether you're going too slow or going too fast. Give those tips a shot. I hope they work for you. Good luck.